All right. Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jennifer Harmon, and I'm with Plexus. Been with Plexus since September of 2014, and we have a lovely panel for you tonight who are going to share their story of how Plexus has just totally transformed their health and given them where they went from surviving to thriving. So that's what we want to share with you a little bit tonight. So I am going to share my story just super quick. So I'm a mom of six, and I knew the value of supplements several years ago when our third child was born. We kind of started on a health journey, and so we were taking a bunch of supplements, but I didn't have any results to show for that, like at all. So fast forward a couple of years, and I ran into a girl at a family conference, and we started talking about supplements and things. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to try those supplements. So I changed. I had this big shoebox of stuff that I took, probably 20 things a day, y'all. And so I chunked that, put it away. I started on 3 products. And what those products do, guys, that gets to the core issues of those 3 things transform my health in ways I didn't even think were possible. So I had some I had allergies going on all the time. I just thought that was normal. I was on medicine for that. I had skin issues that it was a part of getting older. So you can imagine my surprise. I mean, I just kept feeling better and better, and those issues just started going away. So I was just blown away by what those 3 products could do for my health. And then, of course, everybody needs a vitamin. So I started taking the vitamins, and I noticed like stronger nails, and my hair was growing, and I just such good things. And my energy even picked up more. And then about a year after I joined, the company came out with a plant-based omega, and I hardly ever took omegas, even though I knew that every person walking needs omegas, but I just didn't like the nasty fish taste, right? So they came out with a plant-based omega, and it's a full range, 3, 6, 9, 5, and 7. And I started taking those, and my sleep got better. And also it just really helped me to feel more relaxed and not in like stressful situations. So again, these products just really, really helped me in so many ways. And like you're going to hear from these ladies tonight. So, all right, let's get started. And we'll just start over here. Angel, let's get started. Angel Rushing, I'm so excited, you guys. We've known each other for a long time, and her story is just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to let her take it away. All right, Angel.
Okay. So I appreciate you asking me to come on and share. I always like to tell my testimony, and it's going to be a little tough tonight because it usually takes me like 20 minutes. I've been given like 3 to 5 minutes, so I'm going to have to cut that sucker, just hit the main points. But because I have so many great results. But really, where our journey started was in February 2016. My husband was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. He had to stay in the hospital for about 5 days. And at one point, they even told us that the swelling was so bad, the scar tissue was so bad that he may have to have that portion of his intestine removed and wear a colostomy bag. Well, when you get that kind of news, you do the only thing you know to do, and that's start praying. As a good wife, you start praying. So I started messaging people and asking, could you please pray for Steve? And one of the people I messaged was Jennifer. She was my pastor's daughter. Just asked, please pray for Steve. And she didn't mention Plexus then. She'd been working with them, I guess, for about 1.5 years. But the prayers worked anyway. We got to go home. And then shortly after we got home, she messaged me and said, what do you think about trying these products? Because I know a lot of people with digestive issues that have gotten help. So we said, okay, let's look into it. And I had been researching Crohn's since he had been diagnosed. We were juicing, vitamins, cutting out certain foods, adding others, But one thing I had noticed that they recommended was a probiotic, and that's one thing that Jennifer was recommended. So it wasn't too far-fetched. It seemed like it was in line with what all the studies were saying. So we went ahead and ordered the products. Another reason that we decided to was because of the 60-day money-back guarantee, just to be totally honest with you. I mean, we had $7,000 worth of hospital bills. We had 5 medications to pay for. He was the only one working. I mean, it had to work or I was going to have to get my money back. And I was glad that, they had that option. So anyway, here's where the long story gets short. We, about 3 or 4 months, we were taking the products and we went for the first scan. They said, you need to come back for another scan. That one didn't take. Went back for the second scan. And then they said, listen, the scans are all coming back clean. We don't know what's going on, but we need to send you to Atlanta to have a special scope ran down that's extra long that, can see all the way down in there. And so we did. And yet again, they found nothing. There was no inflammation. There was no sign of the Crohn's, nothing like that. So we were like really pleased. Of course, it was a miracle to us. And, the Lord, he answered our prayers a lot of different ways, but I feel like one of them was sending us these products. But maybe a couple months after that, the doctor said, we'll take you off your medications and see how you do. And so we went off the meds and we decided to go off the Plexus products thinking, probably don't need that anymore either. And he had a flare up and he said, you need to, or Steve said, you need to get those products again for me because I felt so much better on them. So we reordered, hasn't had a flare up since. And, like I say, it's been a miracle. Since August, I started the products too. I've lost close to 30 pounds. My head and back aches are gone. Sugar cravings gone. Sleeping great. All that good stuff. And so I've just been sharing it with everybody. And I never thought that I would be into Plexus as a business because I'm already a cake artist and I help run my family's farm. I felt like I didn't have time for anything else, but I wanted to share this with as many people as I could because I feel like if it could help somebody, then I need to share it. And so I did start sharing it with a lot of people. And just within a matter of months, I had made enough with the Plexus business side to pay for both of my kids' Christian school tuition, a private Christian school tuition. So it's been an overall blessing in a lot of ways. And I will continue to share as long as I can.
Oh, that's so good. I always love to hear your story. And you could go on. I know there's lots more to your story, and you could sit here and talk for 30 minutes at least. You got a lot, I know, to tell y'all. She's got a great story, like in so many ways. It's done great things for your family, too.
Yes.
Your immediate family members and stuff. Lots of great testimonies there. So thank you for sharing. And yeah, she's rocking this business, y'all. And she's awesome. If you haven't seen her cakes, you need to go follow her on Facebook. She does awesome cakes. They look amazing. So she's very talented. All right. Yay. Okay. So next up, we have Miss Elizabeth. And I can't wait to hear her story. Okay. Are you mute? Let me see. Do I need to unmute you? You good?
I'm there.
Okay, good. All right, so let's hear your story and how Plexus has helped you.
Well, hello, everyone. I am from Colorado. Yes, I said Colorado. Many of you may not know it as Colorado, but that is how it's said. I am Elizabeth Robbins, as Jennifer mentioned. I am married to my best friend, which we just celebrated 4 years of marriage. And my sweet baby boy is in the other room, crossing my fingers that he stays asleep as I just put him down and he has an ear infection. So I am super excited to share with you guys my story. My story started actually in 2016 when my old roommate posted something on Facebook, and knowing her from college, she didn't post stuff like this about her health, and we had very similar health issues in college. So I got in touch with her and I got on the products. I was on the products for 3 months and I got pregnant for the very first time with my son. And I kind of freaked out. I showed my doctor everything. She said everything looked fine in it, but she had never heard of these products. So it was completely up to me. Well, being pregnant for the first time, I went off of anything that my doctor didn't give like 2 big thumbs up. I didn't eat sandwich meat. I was just so scared to try to take anything. So I went off and I had a miserable pregnancy. After my son was born, I remember begging my husband, can I please get back on Plexus? I am miserable. I'm miserable. Most all of us struggle with our energy levels. So being a new mommy and my son had just turned 1, I was like, I got to do something about this change. After my son was born, I felt like every single month I had UTIs, every single day, not every month, every single day I felt like I had a UTI. And that's something I've struggled with since I was in 5th grade, the earliest I remember. In the last 7 to 8 years, I was told that I had IBS and struggled with issues with that. A huge thing that probably the last 5 years I've struggled with is hormonal migraine. So right before my period would start, I would get these horrible migraines. I also played soccer for about 5-6 years in high school and have horrible knee pain from just bad inflammation. So I was super excited back in November of 2017 to get back on these products. And my husband and I decided that if I'm going to do this, let's go all in and become ambassadors, strictly for my health and strictly for the discounts. And so it was so exciting, immediately seeing results in my energy levels, immediately had no more UTI issues, my IBS issues. I wasn't running to the bathroom in pain after I ate every single time. And probably one of the biggest benefits in just the last 2 months, I've had no hormonal migraines. For those of you that have hormonal migraines, you know it's debilitating. You are in a dark room with heat and ice, and having a 19-month-old, I did not have time for that. And so it's so encouraging that I've not had those hormonal migraines anymore. And the knee pain is gone. I feel like I can go out and go for long walks. We're in the Colorado, so we have lots of paths. We have lots of hiking to do, and I'm not miserable in pain, icing my knees at the end of the night. So I am so encouraged and blessed by everything that Plexus has done. I am currently and faithfully taking the Triplex, which involves the pink drink, which is my favorite. Take that every day. And then I take the Bio Cleanse, the ProBio 5, and the X Factor Plus. It's kind of funny because before I got back on Plexus, I was going to like Whole Foods, Natural Grocer, and getting the most expensive products out there because I thought it was the best for me. But it's funny because I think it was maintaining my health, but it really wasn't helping me get any better. And so I've seen so many changes in my health since then, obviously physically, but this group of girls that are here tonight, some of them I've met face to face for the first time just a couple weeks ago, but they've become such an awesome sisterhood of encouragement and friends to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really, there's so many favorite parts of mine, but the community and the culture that we have and just the great bond and relationships we have is just amazing. It's one of my favorite parts of Plexus. And it's something
I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, that was, you took the words out of my mouth. It was something, that I just wasn't expecting at all, but it's been a huge blessing. And I don't think I've ever heard you share your story on video. I think I've read your story, but you have a very powerful story. So that's awesome. I'm so glad that your husband agreed to go all in.
Yes. And this month, actually, he's been taking the products off and on, but he's actually all in. He's been helping me work the business this last couple of weeks, commenting and trying to get his friends on board. And he will be taking the Triplex starting when we get our next subscription. So I'm super excited for him.
Yay. That's really awesome. Yeah. Plexus has really helped my husband as well. So men can drink pink too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Okay, so next up we have Miss Emerald. Oh my goodness. Now I can't wait to hear your story because I have read your story and my mouth was like hanging open at the end of the reading because I was so floored. So I can't wait to hear. So just take it away.
All right. Yep. I kind of feel the same way about my story too. So just to introduce myself, my name is Emerald. I'm married to my best friend, Justin. I have a 3-year-old Phoenix. So kind of just to start it all out, for the past couple years, I've been dealing with some just kind of super intense health issues, but the last 6 months have been really bad. Just to kind of like summarize some of it, I mean, I was waking up with just like extreme feelings of hopelessness or worry when there wasn't anything to be sad about or anything to be worried about. I wasn't able to sleep at night sometimes for like 3 weeks at a time. So obviously that led to me being so tired all the time. Like I'd be laying next to my husband and he'd fall asleep while we were talking, and then I'd be awake for like the next 7 hours, and I'd sleep for like 30 minutes, and then it was time to start my day. So that was really hard. I get really hot all the time, and I'm laughing now because all these things are gone and I feel so good. But I mean, I would get hot, which would make me angry. And then, probably the worst thing was like I'd get really dry, cracked skin, and that's not the worst thing. Really dry, cracked skin. The worst thing was it also made me deal with infertility and miscarriage. We've been trying for a baby for about 2.5 years now, and I actually got pregnant twice last year, and we lost both babies 7 months apart, and that was the hardest year of our lives. It was really, really bad. So it was March of this year. I decided there's got to be something. I've got to do something to fix this. My body needs healing. I've been hearing about Plexus for years and years. And I just kept saying, I don't need that. I'm pretty fit. We eat relatively well. My husband knows all about supplements. And I brought it to him before, and he's like, oh, you don't need that. I'm like, all right, you're right. I believe you. But I kind of just cracked. I was like, I need something. So I tried it out. But that same week, I also got some blood work done, and I found out my TSH levels were 27.36, which is through the roof, way, way, way high. So for the first 3 weeks, I was on Plexus only, and those came down 4 points by them, without any medicine. Plexus already was making me feel better just in those first 3 weeks. And then at that point, I did start taking medicine, and Plexus worked alongside that and got my numbers down. I actually met with my doctor last week, and they were down to 0.04. He was floored. He was like, I don't know how they came down this fast. We've got to lower your medicine. That's obviously way too high of a dose. And I'm in my head thinking well, I know why. I absolutely know why. I firmly believe they worked alongside my medicine to help me feel better. I mean, I feel so much better. I'm waking up every day and I'm just so happy, so full of joy, which is huge. Some days I would just want to stay in bed. Obviously I couldn't have had a sweet angel to take care of, and I always took care of him really well. But I just, sometimes on the inside, I was like, oh, I am so tired. I just want to go to bed. But oh, and I'm crying because this is huge. But I mean, I feel so happy. I'm more patient for Phoenix. I'm sleeping so good, y'all. I sleep so good. I've even fallen asleep before Justin, at least 5 or 6 times, which is a big deal because he falls asleep mid-sentence. He'll be talking to me and then he's snoring. And okay, well, I love you. But I've fallen asleep before him a couple nights, and that's big. But these products, they've given me my life back. I feel like the real me. And I'm crying again, but it's good, y'all. Y'all should try it if you haven't. It's huge. They've changed my life. Definitely making me feel so much better.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now I'm all teary-eyed.
Yeah. I knew I was going to cry. Cry.
Oh, I'm the person, if I see somebody crying, I'll cry with you. So, but your story, wow, I literally got chills several times from head to toe. That is just phenomenal. I mean, literally phenomenal. And you are so, you can see your passion and your excitement. You got your life back. That is so evident in your body language and your smile and your words. Yeah. Yes. So that just touches my heart so much, because you watch people post about Plexus for years, and then you were like, oh, whatever, but thankfully people kept on,
Yep.
That's why I
tell people, Haley. Haley was my girl. She was my person. It took, I had probably heard 15 different people, but Haley was the one I was like, I trust her and I love her, and I know she's not going to tell me this if it's not real. And I'm so glad I gave it a shot. And I mean, Justin, he's been like, this is amazing. I can tell you feel better. And I'm sleeping. Obviously, so I'm a little bit less crazy when I'm sleeping every night. It's good. It's really
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that makes my heart so, so happy. So yeah, it's encouraging to keep on. For those of us who are telling people about Plexus and sharing Plexus, it just lights my fire to keep on, because there are people, you wake up one day, you're like, I'm just going to try this because I need it. And look at the difference it's made.
Yep.
Oh, that makes me happy. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I so appreciate it. You did great.
Thanks.
All right. So speaking of Haley, Haley's going to share her story, and her story is amazing as well. So Haley, take it away, girl.
All right. Hey guys, as Jennifer said, I'm Haley. I'm currently outside because it is a madhouse in my house right now, trying to get 4 kids in the bed. So like I said, I have 4 kids, married to my best friend as well. We've been best friends since we were 11. And he is definitely my rock. He has helped me get through this trying time that I've been in, like hormonally, physically, health-wise, everything. And now that I'm doing the business as well, he has helped me tremendously, like supporting and all that kind of stuff. So to start out, Allison, my cousin, was posting about Plexus for about a year. Like she kept hitting me up and she's like, Haley, you need this. It's awesome. It's going to change your life. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that stuff, but thanks. Well, dumb mistake, of course. And so now I'm actually coming up on my 1-year anniversary of joining Plexus. And it has definitely been a huge life changer. I had really bad migraines, just like Elizabeth did. I've had them since high school. But they were really bad during my last pregnancy because I joined when I was 7 months pregnant with my 4th kid. And I was getting them daily. Like I couldn't function. I was crying. I was throwing up. I mean, if you have hormones or if you have migraines, you know how bad they are. So yeah, I had really bad migraines. My anxiety attacks were daily. I couldn't even sleep. I would get into the bed and then lay down and finally get comfortable and then just sit up out of nowhere thinking that the world was out to get me. And it was just not a really good way to live. It's just not how I wanted to live my life. I had really high blood pressure. I was on blood pressure medication. I was taking allergy medication daily. It was just insane. The heartburn, the fatigue. I mean, I had the works. And about a week in to doing the Slim, I finally realized that I had not had another migraine that whole week. And I'm like, wait a minute, this stuff seriously does work. So I continued taking it and immediately started sharing. I'm like, y'all, you know me, you know I have migraines and this stuff is seriously working, So I'm now a year in, like I said, and after just a few months of being on the triplex, I had no more migraines. I had no more anxiety attacks. I had no more heartburn. I had no more UTIs. Again, just like Elizabeth, I had UTIs and kidney infections left and right. I almost lost a kidney because of it. They said if I had let the infection go any longer, then I would have lost it. I haven't had one since being on. I haven't had one kidney infection or UTI since being on Plexus. I don't need my coffee anymore. That's a huge deal. Like I'll drink it every now and then because I like the taste, but don't need it anymore. And that's huge. Let's see. The regimen that I take currently, I take the Triplex. I take the Vital Biome, X Factor Plus, Mega X. I just got off Accelerator. Sorry, frog just jumped across my foot. Kind of scared me for a second. Anyway, sorry. Okay. Lost where Okay. My family is also on these, on the products. Josh has lost a total of about 25 to 30 pounds, and he's only been on it for about 6 months. My kids are on it, and I've noticed a huge change in their just overall behavior, their health. They haven't been sick. Even being in public school at the time, all the bugs going around, they didn't get sick. So it's been a huge life changer. Financially, that's almost just as big of a blessing as the products themselves, because to be completely transparent here, I joined when Josh was unemployed. We were trying to figure out what we were going to do, and we prayed about it, knowing we couldn't really afford it at that time. We did it anyway because we felt like we were being called to do it. And so I joined, and I've been making money ever since. I've gotten a raise every single month. And last month, I was actually able to pay our mortgage just from my income. So it covers my mortgage. It's covering my gigantic Costco trip I make every month because, with 6 people in a house, it's a big trip. And just, I loved being able to... Sorry, another frog. I love being able to, plan trips to the zoo and the aquarium without having to think, oh gosh, is it in the bank account? And now I can do that. And it's just been a huge, huge, huge blessing. And we actually just prayed again, and we have been praying for a long time. And Josh is actually going to start working the business with me as well. He's going to help me build my business and then join. He's going to find work from home so that he can stay home and not travel, because he used to be gone for months at a time and we're cold. So super excited about that. So yes, take back control of your life and learn that just listen to what everybody has said tonight and what people are posting on Facebook. Y'all, this stuff works. You can thrive, not just survive.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh. That's so good. Oh my gosh. I knew about the mortgage payment, and so I was hoping, I was going to ask you if you didn't share it, because I knew that's such a huge deal.
Yeah.
That's such a huge deal.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Makes me happy, happy, happy. And you guys, for those of you who are watching, this is not like magic water, okay? What these products do is they get to the root causes of so many things, and so many things, the majority of things that are wrong with our health go back to blood sugar imbalance, goes back to inflammation, and it goes back to gut health. And Plexus just addresses those things and helps those to balance out. And so therefore, so many of these issues that you've heard tonight they just kind of get taken care of. They get so much help. And so your body just starts to work like it should start working, right? So that's what it's not like magic in a bottle, even though I sometimes call it magic in a bottle. Because I'm like, especially with our creams, and our new skincare. Oh my gosh. Are we all loving our skincare?
Yes.
That stuff is.
I forgot. I take that too. Yep.
Yeah. That stuff is like magic in a bottle. But anyway, okay. So thank you, Haley, for sharing. I appreciate it. All right. Next up, Jennifer. Oh my goodness. Her story, you guys, is insanely amazing. And I'm going to let her share it. And this is interesting because I knew Jennifer before Plexus. And then, of course, obviously I know her now. But to see the change in her family's health has been a huge, huge blessing. I'll never forget the day she called me. And we were both crying that day in the car. So when she was telling me some of her stories. So I will let her share her story now. All right, Jennifer. Oh, wait. You're muted.
Am I unmuted now?
No, there you go. Yep. Okay.
All right. Yeah, let me set this down where I'm not moving. Okay. So, yes, I'm Jennifer Lee, and I have been married for 16 years to my best friend, the best husband ever. We are a homeschooling family. We have 4 kids, 14, 12, 8, and 3, and we're expecting twins. So a large family. Now, my entire family has been using Plexus for just over 2 years now, but I'll start with my life before Plexus. My digestive system was constantly interfering with my life, but I just believed it was my normal that I just had to live with. Sometimes I would have pain like knives, and it was really scary. I never knew what my stomach was going to do, and I was constantly fearful over it. Then when I had kids, I began to see in them this roller coaster of constipation and diarrhea and pain and sleepless nights. And we had concerns about growth hormones, and it was just it was not easy. And they were having some of the same fears over their bellies that I had over mine, not knowing if they were going to get sick when they were somewhere, and afraid of what, to eat. Also, from the time I started having babies, I developed severe joint pain and swelling in my hands and wrists. I mean, really, nearly everything I did with my hands hurt. It got to that point, and it was just awful. So I became a stressed and irritable mom, and like a lot of moms out there, I hid it well. But I often found myself just asking if I would ever feel like the real me again. And I cried out to God many, many times, about what we were going through. And so we started elimination diets, and we ended up becoming a gluten-free family. And that is hard for kids, y'all. When they're young, and they just don't understand. But even with that, we were still getting really sick, sort of with no rhyme or reason. It was no matter what we were doing, what we tried, nothing was really helping. We did have some testing done, and everything was coming back normal. I was basically told my bowels were irritable, and they said just use whatever over-the-counter meds you've been using. And like, I had been living off of those for, every day. And so I just felt helpless. I was like, I know it's irritable. I want to know why. And so we did as well as we could for several years until 2 years ago when Jennifer and her husband shared Plexus with us. I thought Plexus was for weight loss, like a fad thing. And I didn't see how that was at all relevant to what we were going through, our issues. But my husband really wanted me to try it. And I knew I was desperate to feel better and to see my kids feel better. So I agreed. And as it turned out, Plexus was exactly what we needed. All those years that I had just been masking the symptoms. My gut didn't really need me to avoid things. It needed to be healed and nourished. And, like you're saying, I needed to fix that root cause. And so now that we're keeping our guts healthy, because like I said, this has been 2 years ago that we started this. And we haven't had to worry about the fear of being sick. And yeah, I'm like a much happier and fun mama without like the foggy brain and without all that pain. And for my husband too, it was like high blood pressure and cholesterol and headaches and heartburn. And those are history. He lost weight and kept it off. And yes, he and I both, but definitely him, he sleeps better than ever now. We both get the best sleep of our lives. And like, I'm just really excited about being pregnant and having these supplements working for me and for these babies. I can already tell this is going to be my best pregnancy ever. So I'm very excited. And I just want to say too, that like all these changes didn't happen overnight. My body didn't get into that state overnight, and I'd be silly to think it would heal overnight. But I honestly believe that like healing is what our bodies are designed to do. And so these supplements empower your body's self-healing abilities. So like you've already got the ability in your body, and these supplements just come in and like empower it to do what it's naturally like already designed to do. And I just believe we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And sometimes we just need a little tool to help it work the best. And so Plexus was truly an answered prayer for us. I mean, I honestly had prayed, and this was the answer. And we are incredibly grateful to God for using such a sweet, sweet couple to bring it into our lives. We are just like healthier and happier than ever. And we love to share the Plexus with others because it's just stories of hope everywhere. And it's always good to share good things. So yeah, that's our story.
Oh, yay. That was so good. And I was so glad you said that about it. Your bodies didn't get into this shape overnight. And so you realize
many years.
Yeah. And so but you did see some changes quickly.
Yes.
But the longer you were on the products.
Yes. It was like, we did see, I knew right away, this is happening. Like I knew pretty soon, like something is happening in my body and this is good. But yes, over the time, it was just like that compound effect really kicked in, and just, we still 2 years later, we continue to see, good things. So yeah,
that's so good. And I have heard, maybe Sarah can testify to this, but I have heard that Plexus pregnancies are always the best compared to other pregnancies. I don't know. I have a lot of mamas that tell me that. So they have awesome pregnancies and recovery after the baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard lots of stories. So I'm very excited to get to have my own experience with it now.
Yeah, I know. You're sweet babies. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kristen is going to share her story. Oh, you guys are going to love this one too. Like, I'm serious. Everybody's story is just, I know I keep saying that everybody's story is so amazing, but it really is. I never, ever, I've been doing this almost 4 years, and I have never gotten tired or less excited about people's stories, even 4 years later, because it's just such hope and health and happiness, right? Okay. So I'm going to hush. Kristen, tell your story.
All right, I'm Kristen, and I am married. Been married for 16 years, and I have 3 boys, ages 3, 10, and 13. And I have been on the products for a little over 2 years. I've been sick most of my teen and adult life, pretty much the whole time. At 13, I was diagnosed with my first autoimmune disease of the thyroid. And for the next several years following, I had a ton of digestive issues, and I was always in horrible stomach pain all the time. I'd have to curl up in a ball and lay on the bed, and just terrible pain. Kind of like Angel had mentioned, I couldn't keep any food in my body at all. I went to the doctors for several years, and everybody said, well, if you can deal with it, I can deal with it. You'll be fine. Just deal with it. There's nothing we can do. We can't find anything. So finally I found a doctor, and he figured out what was going on, and I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease number 2. And by that point, I had already lost about 30 pounds within about 6 weeks because I couldn't keep any food in my body. They were talking about surgeries and everything else. And I'm pretty strong-willed and hard-headed. I knew that there was other ways than to have surgery and have a less than normal life. So they put me on 13 pills per day, and that was to manage all the symptoms that I had. But with all those pills, that came a whole nother set of symptoms, and I still felt terrible. I had terrible symptoms from the medication, and at that point, I decided to take myself off of all the medicine, and I went on a drastic change of my diet, and very drastic. And that helped a lot with my symptoms, but it didn't take care of everything. And then in 2005, I started having children, had my first child, and from that point on, my health just continued to go downhill pretty quickly. And then I got 2 more autoimmune diagnoses, and I felt terrible. My kids were growing up to know me as mommy doesn't feel good. I can't play mom. And I hated that because, something that we always live for is to be a mom and to raise our children and to have fun with our children and make memories with our children. And my kids were giving memories of mom doesn't feel good. Let her just lay down. And even at one point, I had to move in with my parents for an extended amount of time because I couldn't take care of myself and I couldn't take care of my children. So we moved in with them, and my mom had to take care of all of us. But after about 6 years of that and thousands of dollars later, doctors, tests, naturopaths, alternative supplements like crazy, a whole cabinet full of supplements. I changed my diet. I was eating super healthy, juicing. I tried every diet there was, you name it. I tried it. I was kind of at my wit's end, and I couldn't take it anymore. I was walking around with heart monitors. I was dizzy to where I was passing out regularly. I had crippling headaches, pain all over my body. They also diagnosed me with a tick-borne disease. I had terrible digestion, and I was just exhausted, both physically and mentally. And at one point, I really just wanted to die. And I didn't want my family to have to experience me that way. And that's not who I was or what I wanted to be. So my husband saw a friend that posted, I didn't want to cry, posted on Facebook about Plexus. And he asked if I would try it. And I said yes, but I knew that it probably wasn't going to work because nothing else had really worked. It might help some, but nothing else really took care of all of it. So after about 2 or 3 weeks, I noticed I wasn't exhausted. I was actually staying up later and getting stuff done, and I had energy, and my digestion was so much better. And I I had noticed that I hadn't had any of the terrible headaches, the crippling headaches that I had before that I was having regularly. And I couldn't believe it because I just really thought they weren't going to work for me. But over the next 2 years of being on the products consistently, and, it's been a process because years of disease does not heal in a month or two. I've had ups and downs, but with each layer that detoxes away, I feel better and better the longer that I stay on the products and stay consistent taking the products. I just notice just deeper layers coming through and feeling so much better. And I actually feel like I am thriving and not just before I felt like I was just barely surviving and just trying to make it through each day. So I'm so thankful that God brought this into my life.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. Y'all are just all making me cry tonight. Oh my goodness. And I don't know that I realized that you've had 4 autoimmune diagnoses plus the tick-borne illness.
And cancer.
And I was going to say, and you've had cancer. Wow, Kristen. Wow, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot, truly. Wow, I don't know that I knew some of your story there. So that was just amazing. And I'm so thankful for you. Truly, I am. Because we just saw each other a couple weeks ago. And you're beautiful and vibrant. And, I mean, you look amazing, And so you're so full of life. So to think you went from being taken care of, to thriving, it's just such a blessing. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Okay. Sarah Webb, last but not least. She's amazing. Her story, are you going to cry? Because I don't know if I can handle anymore crying. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't wait to hear your story. Her story is going to blow y'all away too.
I am just wowed at all these testimonies, and that I have to go last. But I guess that's one of the perks of being technically challenged, because I was the last one to figure it out. So I'm sorry. My name is Sarah Webb, and I am a homeschooling mama to 3 boys. We live in southeastern Oklahoma, so we're kind of in the mountains, and so my internet's probably a little bit wonky, but we're going to get through this. My husband is a rancher, and so we kind of help him with that, and I also work at Plexus, so we're busy people, but who's not busy, right? I'm excited to share my story with you. It kind of goes back to when I was growing up. We lived a fast-paced life. We ate a lot of junk food. We were always on the go. And as a result, I developed some severe digestive issues when I was 18. It gave me symptoms like I got really bad sick. I lost a lot of weight. I had severe abdominal pain, diarrhea, bloody stools, severe stomach pain, like worse than labor. It was bad. And I went to a lot of different doctor's offices, specialists. I had colonoscopies, sigmoidoscopies, endoscopies, like all the scopes in the body, trying to figure out, what was going on. And they always came back with the same diagnosis, that it was inflammation in my colon. And so it went on for about 10 years, back and forth, flare-ups, and then I would get better, and then I would have another flare-up. I didn't want to be on medication for my whole life. So I would try things to control my symptoms naturally. And it just always ended back up having to get back on medication. So when I was pregnant with my second son, I had a really bad flare-up, and I really thought I was dying. Like, I even told my husband, I think I'm dying. And I would lay in bed at night and plan my funeral. I mean, I would, because I was like, I know I'm dying. And I would lay in the bathroom floor. I would sleep in the bathroom floor, and I was pregnant, and we were living in a camper. So there was not much room, and I was huge. So there wasn't nowhere to go. But I felt like that was my only choice, was to just lay in there be close to the bathroom. And I would wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and go get in bed. And then 7, 8 o'clock, then he was like 4 years old. He would be up. And then I had no energy. So I was in bed all day. And I remember laying in bed for days, like just watching movies all day long and letting him watch movies all day long, because I didn't feel like getting out of bed. So I was pregnant, and I very reluctantly got on some prescription medication that I didn't want to take while I was pregnant. It got my digestive issues under control, but it was camouflaging them, and it also led me to a lot of side effect issues that I started dealing with. It really wreaked havoc on my gut health and my immune system. I gained a lot of weight that I shouldn't have gained. It caused me, my son was born early because of that medication. And then I started having a lot of feelings of self-worthlessness, hormonal issues, just I was dealing with. So I got to a really low point in my life. And so I had a lot of years of neglect. I had a lot of stuff to work through. But I was scrolling Facebook one day, and a friend of mine posted about inflammation and how the Plexus products helped inflammation and gut health. And I had tried other supplements in the past, but I was skeptical, but I was like, you know what? I've tried everything else. Why not give this a try too? So I contacted her and I signed up just for the discount, because that's what we all do. So I signed up for the discount, and I didn't even tell my husband that I was starting this, because I was like, it's not going to work, and he's going to get mad at me for spending money on something that's not going to work. But we were spending it was over $400. It was close to $500 a month on prescription medication. So when I did tell him what I was doing, he was overjoyed because we were saving money by using Plexus. So, yes, you mentioned my pregnancy. I had my third son. He's 16 months old, and I had a Plexus pregnancy, and it was the best one yet. It was amazing, especially compared to my last one where I had the bad flare up with my digestive issues. So it was amazing pregnancy. I wouldn't never not be pregnant without Plexus. That's for sure. But and somebody else said this, it gets better with time. Like, this will be 3 years on Plexus in August, and it's been amazing. When I started, I was able to stop the medication that I didn't want to take, and like I said, save that money. And we're just so thankful. I mean, the business has been, a huge blessing. I'm actually in the process of, before this fall, I will be able to pay off a huge credit card debt that I was left with in a divorce prior to this marriage. So it's just been amazing. It's been wonderful. I can't say how much I appreciate these supplements. And God, when I was, in the bathroom floor crying and sick and pregnant, I prayed for relief. I prayed for something that God would send us something, to help me. And so this is what I prayed for. So I'm just so thankful.
Yes. Oh, it gives me chills. Oh my goodness. I love it. That is so awesome. Your story is just insanely amazing. So thank you, ladies. And I was just, while Sarah was talking, I just glanced at your faces, and y'all, number one, you're all like glowing, literally. Like, we talk about it. It's kind of a joke about we age backwards with Plexus, but I think we do. Like, if you do befores and afters of us, like, we all look younger and more vibrant. And anyway, it's like an inside outside effect, So anyway, y'all all look amazing. Thank you all so much for sharing your story. Now, we're going to tell you a secret code word, a little code phrase here, and we'll find out what that's for. Anyway, so the secret phrase is change begins now. That's the secret phrase. So we're going to have a giveaway for this event, and we'll post that in the event page. But that's the secret phrase that you need to message to the person who invited you to this event tonight. So does anybody have any last words of encouragement or anything at all you want to unmute yourself and say that you're just dying to say? Anybody? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we hope that we have encouraged you to start Plexus and start your journey with Plexus, because who knows, you can go from surviving to thriving too. So we would love to have you share your story with us sometime. So, all right, guys, thank y'all so much for being on tonight. All right, bye.